The Avengers are Earth's mightiest heroes, but what if they weren't? What if they were just as dysfunctional and dangerous as Fox's most ruthless anti-hero? What if Deadpool joined the Avengers? I'm your host. This is Top 10 Nerd, and here are the top 10 ways that Wade Wilson could join Earth as mightiest heroes, along with the top 10 things that would happen as a result. How could Deadpool even join the Avengers? Well, there's 3 realistic ways I can think of. 1. S.H.I.E.L.D. officially recruits him. 2. Tony Stark sees the potential in him and buys him out of his mercenary contract. Or 3. Nick Fury begrudgingly brings him in to help level up an Avengers initiative team. But regardless of how he joins, it's safe to say that at first, the team wouldn't exactly be thrilled about having a Merc with a red leather-covered mouth on their roster. They would either be suspicious of him, annoyed by him, or completely rejected his offer to join. Number 9. The team's first reactions. When Deadpool first approached Iron Man about joining the Avengers, Tony would have responded with a snarky remark like, "We don't need any mouthy wise guys on our team. We already got one of those." Then he'd gesture to War Machine, who just cracked a joke. It's hard to imagine that even someone as outgoing and bombastic as Iron Man would welcome Wade onto the team without a few choice insults first. Meanwhile, Steve Rogers, aka Captain America, would probably be the most frustrated by Deadpool's irreverent sense of humor, quipping something about how soldiers and superheroes are serious people with a serious job to do. Thor might not take too much of an initial disliking to him, though. Even if he doesn't really get the jokes, he'd probably respect Deadpool's warrior spirit and kinky taste in battle. No. 8. A new tone. Imagine a team meeting with Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor in attendance, listening to Nick Fury give the mission briefing only for Deadpool to pop in at the end and ad-lib some snarky remarks about how everyone's favorite purple space tyrant is apparently going to be taking his dog for a walk in the park this Tuesday. If you know, you know. That's a reference to the comics. Deadpool once broke the 4th wall and told us that Thanos' dog was named Throg. And yes, it's also a reference to a Marvel parody from a few years ago where a frog became the new Thor. Anyway, Deadpool's 4th wall breaking would immediately shift the tone from serious and somber to goofy and lighthearted. Of course, that would make everyone else on the team deeply annoyed, especially when Deadpool began turning every mission briefing into a comedy show and the rest of the team had to play along. The audience, however, would appreciate it, because even though Deadpool could lighten the mood at times, he would never shy away from getting ultra-violent and gritty when needed. Number 7. A force multiplier in combat. If the Avengers ever found themselves fighting a villain who possessed a healing factor, Deadpool would definitely be the guy to step up and lend a hand. After all, thanks to his regenerative abilities, he's nearly unkillable. So naturally, in a fight against someone like Wolverine, Deadpool would probably be brought in specifically to handle Logan's healing factor. However, Wade's brutal methods of dealing with his enemies may not sit well with the rest of the Avengers. They have a strict no-kill order. But if Deadpool's methods meant that they could win the battle, would they really care? Perhaps he'd find allies in the likes of Black Widow and Hawkeye, 2 professional assassins who might just get Deadpool more than the rest of the team. After all, he's right. There's no room for healers when you're trying to put people in the ground. Number 6. The Loki problem. During the events of the first Avengers movie, let's just say that Deadpool would have been a huge problem for Loki. Just as the God of Mischief was attempting to hold the Tesseract hostage on the helicarrier, Deadpool would suddenly burst through the ceiling with a pair of nunchucks and declare it was time to pick up where we left off in the last battle. Cue a lengthy, embarrassing sequence where Loki was forced to fight Deadpool and spouted insults about how he was unworthy of wielding the power of the Casket of Ancient Winters, until Deadpool threw his nunchucks at him and said, "Oh yeah, well, I'm also a god now, baby." With that, Deadpool would kick the Casket of Winters away from Loki and land a flying sidekick to his groin. That's kind of gross, actually. I apologize. Where was I? Oh, right. The Avengers would likely find themselves debating whether they should kick Deadpool out of the group after his lack of decorum in handling Asgardian artifacts. Number 5. The Ultron Dilemma. During the Avengers Age of Ultron storyline, one of the biggest problems facing the team is that they were fighting a villain who seemed to know their every move. That's because Ultron was designed by Tony Stark himself. He created a self-aware artificial intelligence that ended up deciding humanity was flawed and needed to be upgraded to a new version. And so he built a robot body and went on a rampage, killing anyone who got in his way. But perhaps the solution to this problem was hiding in plain sight, quite literally. Deadpool, the Merc with a red leather-covered mouth, would be a huge asset to the team as he could easily sniff out Ultron's position based on his metallic scent. The question is, would the team listen to Deadpool when he told them where their enemy was hiding? Since Deadpool's unpredictability could either ruin the mission or save it. It depends on the day. Num 4, the Infinity War. What if Deadpool was in space for the events of Infinity War? It's easy to imagine that he would annoy Thanos enough to warrant the Mad Titan taking a detour to go punch him in the face. However, in a weird way, Deadpool might actually pose as an even greater threat to Thanos than the Avengers themselves. You see, Thanos was trying to court death by wiping out half the universe's population. But Deadpool is technically immortal. He can't die, so Thanos would have to try, and kill him twice, which might take up precious time and divert Thanos' attention from completing his snap. Of course, that would only work if Thanos hadn't snapped his fingers yet. If he had, then Deadpool would join the rest of the Avengers in the 5-year time jump. Presumably, he would team up with the likes of Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne to pull off the heist seen in Endgame. After all, Ant-Man and the Wasp were able to steal back the Infinity Stones in part due to their ability to be incredibly annoying. Deadpool is the king of being annoying, so he would excel in that role. Number 3, the Secret Wars. By the time of the Secret Wars event, Deadpool would have been in the MCU for at least 5 years. That means he would have made friends on the team, maybe even becoming confidants with someone like Clint Barton. If that were the case, Wade would be devastated to learn that his best buddy was among the half of all life that Thanos had wiped out. In fact, he would be so devastated that he might just snap Thanos' neck. Of course, that would mean leaving the Avengers and going rogue. But maybe, just maybe, if he managed to not snap anyone else's necks, the team might let him stay as long as he promised to keep his insanity under control. After all, they'd need all the help they could get to stop Doom. Number 2, Avengers Internal. Even if the Avengers managed to defeat whatever villain they were facing, they might still lose Deadpool. If the team decided that he was too much of a loose cannon and tried to vote him out of the group, Deadpool would be devastated, but not for long. He would quickly patch things up with his closest ally on the team, steal a jet, fly off into the sunset to Spidey Heaven, where he would spend his days playing video games and beating up bad guys. So long as he had his buddies, Deadpool didn't need the Avengers, but the feeling wouldn't be mutual. The Avengers might just be too nice to kick Deadpool out of the team. Some of them might even like him, despite how much he annoyed them. After all, he broke the tension during dark and brooding moments. That was actually pretty cool. And finally, number 1, the ultimate sacrifice. 2 possible outcomes exist here. In outcome 1, the Avengers come to accept Deadpool and all his quirks and oddities. They would grow to respect him and trust him as a teammate, and eventually he would earn their respect, becoming the wildcard weapon the team knew they could call upon whenever they needed a dirty job done. But in outcome 2, the Avengers decide that Deadpool is too much for them to handle. He quits the team and goes off to Spidey Heaven. However, when the team needs him most, he would show up anyway, because true friends always come back for their friends, you know. So do you think Deadpool would be a good fit for the Avengers? How do you think he'd shake up the team dynamic? Let us know your thoughts. Until next time, I'm your host. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and you can always find more of our videos by clicking the link in the description below.